working condition. So this gun hasn't fired for 8 years. But we're very pleased to say that it's now going up and down. And with some of your volunteer help this afternoon, you're not just going to stand there, you're going to do some work. We're going to get the gun up, and then we're also going to get the gun back down again. So it'll be a bit of fun. When we do go to fire it, I do want to warn you again that you will need to cover your ears like that. Please, no exception. If this does go off, and I hope it does go off, it can be quite loud. Fortunately, it's pointing away from us, and it's not so much of a problem. So the principle of this gun, at the moment, it's in a very safe place to maintain and load the gun. All the gun crew are well below the enemy's action. They can do all the work loading the gun, and you'll see us load the gun a little bit slower because normally it's an 8-man crew. So we'll do it a little bit slower than the original Victorians would have done. But we will load it. It's a breech loader, so everything is loaded from this end that we see there. When we're ready and the gun is loaded, we will raise the gun above the parapet. So the gun will then be in the position to aim at the enemy. But before we raise that gun, we will check the position. And I will go up and check the aim, make sure if we are aiming at McDonald's or something like that out there, which is a very good place to aim at. And we will traverse the gun slightly to show you how the gun is traversed. Then we'll raise the gun into the firing position. We'll prime the gun on final priming, and then I will come down with a lanyard, and hopefully then, when we tell everybody we're going to fire after 3, we will then fire the gun. But when we come to that 3, you must have your hands over your ears. I'm going to put ear defenders on because it can be quite loud. So, we'll have the gun crew that we've got, please, team in place.
Tom, what are you doing? You're part of the gun crew now.
The first thing we're going to do is load the gun. And this means this breech here is a screw breech. And this is the breech block up here, which we've primed all ready to go. All we've got to do is fit the firing mechanism to it. So we will get a loading in. The gun has actually got a piece of wood, specially shaped piece of wood, in the base here to prevent the charge from dropping straight through. Now normally a shell this long would be inserted into the barrel to a given length first of all. That would be an explosive shell. Now obviously if we had an explosive shell here this afternoon, McDonald's would certainly not be very happy. So we're not going to do that. But what we're going to do is use a substantial charge of black powder in a linen bag with sawdust. So this is going to be inserted into the breech assembly to a given length. So the round rod should be about it. And we've got them checked. That's the wooden block which was needed to prevent the whole lot dropping through onto the floor. So now we're going to insert the actual breech assembly, which is this piece, firing mechanism, into the breech. It's a two-man job, this. Then the breech is closed. And all this time the enemy's getting closer. Check. Yeah, breech is secure. So we're going to prime the firing mechanism. gun before we put the firing mechanism. We have to check the aim first. So we check the aim of the gun. Okay, 2 degrees to the left.
This direction.
2 degrees to the left.
Yeah.
Inviting a couple of volunteers to put some weight on the carriage, get this started.
Go on, guys, let me go. Go on, let me go.
Oh,
Go on then.
go on then, off you go. Go on.
Come on, lads.
Bloody hell.
Push on here. Push on here if you want to.
What's the matter with you? You're whip. Only 2 degrees.
That'll do. That'll do.
I prefer to be the leader, not the people who have to.
Probably with a sharp stick.
McDonald's are in clear view. No, actually it's 3Q actually. Okay, incidentally that job of going up there would have been the dangerous bit, because they would have been subject to rifle fire and including the actual firing the final mechanism assembly. So that would have been the risky bit where most casualties would have occurred. So we're going to raise the gun, so... Right man. Where's Ed?
I'm here. Do you wish for me to be the brake man?
I'll do the grunt front. Morning.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Okay, break off.
Okay, you insert there, Dave.
Okay, raise. Push.
Oh, is that raising it? It's going the other way.
Ready? Yep. Push.
Quick job.
Ready? 2, 6. Ready? 2, 6.
Which way is it?
Oh, I think it's popping up as he does that. It's popping up though.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, clear.
Ready? 2, 6. Push.
Oh, it's
Thing
on
is,
a
it's not hot.
pivot, so
I'm looking for things that
it pushes it up to do that.
2, 6.
it's not very big.
One more.
Ready? 2, 6. Push.
McDonald's.
Get your fingers caught in the wrong place there.
Now the idea of this, if we were firing an actual projectile from this gun this afternoon, when we fired it, the recoil would bring the gun down, and the brakeman would then put the brake on when it was down in the final resting position. Obviously we're not going to get that this afternoon. We're going to get a firing, hopefully, and then we're going to get some volunteers to pull the gun down.
Huh? What are we doing with it? Oh, it's recording. There's a string.
We're gonna go like that.
Well, just cover your ears a bit like
Like that, just. That's Ian.
They're just arriving, Richard.
You can't hold your own.
Just going to check that we haven't got anybody outside there a minute. You got your whistle, eh? Clear. Firing! Gun firing!
Cover the other one.
Okay, you need to cover your ears, folks. One, two, three, firing!
First time since 2011.
Well done.
So we have one more task. We would appreciate a bit of assistance.
Smoking gun effect.
Sponge down the gun. We need to bring it down into the resting position, the loading position. I think we've got a sea of cadets, so which is really good to see.
Okay, fellas. We'll start breaking that rope out. All the way down towards the
Come here. Come here. Come here. You get in the way.
Now it's going too close. Wind it, Sasa, wind it.
Pull in, got a long way to go yet.
Can you see it? Hadley, Hadley, come here. Hadley, come here because you're going to get in the way. Hadley.
bring the rope.
Come here. If somebody trips over you, you'll get hurt.
Lunchtime's little rain shower's done us a favour. The ground was incredibly dry up until early afternoon.
Okay, I want this rope as straight as we can. Want the tallest at the front, the shortest at the back. Okay? Yes.
5 tons in weight.
Ready? Where we start? Right, so what we're telling you to take the weight.
Bob, should we traverse around to get a better position for them?
Okay, fellas, lay the boat down. We've got a few of these really strong heavy.
Wind it,
Way down
wind
there,
it.
fellas.
Some will push on here on the plate there. Wait till you've got the handles in first. Extra hard work out.
Oh, don't worry, that's fine.
Okay, rotate.
Clockwise.
That should do. Whoop. Best bit you've done all day, isn't it? Break off.
Okay, what we say is, right, I want you all to take the weight. When you've got the weight, I say break off with the 2-6 pull, and all dip down and step back, okay? Right, take the weight, break off. I won't say 2-6 pull then. Keep going, fellas, keep going, 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 keep going.
Break on.
Stop, break on.
Break on.
Rope.
Disappears down the bank. There'll be a lot of letters at home.
Okay, you got the weight. Break off.
Break off.
Pull. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Stop, break off.
Break off.
Stood on my leashes. Stood on my leashes.
I'm not sure if they're more well or seasick in the British train.
Take the weight. Break off.
Break off.
Pull. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going, keep going. Break off.
Break on.
Okay, take the weight.